91 goals in his first 2 seasons at the highest level of European football. A machine, a cheat code. The kind of striker the game builds once in a generation, and the story everyone tells is simple. Manchester City built him, Guardiola perfected him, but that story is wrong. Because 8 years before the world called him unstoppable, one man already had, out loud, in a league nobody was watching. And the cruelest part? That same man had the chance to keep him and let him slip away. 2017. Molde, Norway. A town of 25,000 people, wrapped in fog and cold. The league doesn't trend. Scouts don't fly here. But on this pitch there's a boy, 16 years old, impossibly tall, thin as a rake, still growing into his own legs. His name means nothing yet. And on the touchline stands a man the world thought it already understood. Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Solskjaer. To most fans, a memory. The substitute who won United a Champions League in injury time. A nice man. A finisher. Nobody's idea of a visionary. But management had made him something else. A reader of strikers. He knew the position from the inside. The runs, the timing, the cruelty of the 6-yard box. And when he looked at this awkward teenager, he didn't see what everyone else saw. Everyone else saw a problem. Too tall to be coordinated. Too raw to trust. A body that hadn't caught up with itself. Coaches love the safe teenager. The neat, finished product. Haaland was neither neat nor finished. He was a bet. And most people don't bet on awkward. Solskjaer saw the one thing you can't coach. Not the height. Not the pace, though it was already frightening for a boy that size. He saw the movement. The instinct to attack the space behind SC even knew it existed. A striker who didn't chase the game. He waited for it, then punished it. Solskjaer had built a career on that exact instinct. He recognized himself, turned up to a level he'd never possessed. So he did what most managers wouldn't. He gave the Boynes League at 16, not as a gift, as a test, and the boy didn't shrink. He grew, every appearance a little more certain. Solskjaer wasn't developing a squad player. He was lighting a fuse and stepping back to watch. And then he said it, not in code. Solskjaer told anyone in Ager had everything. The frame, the finishing, the mentality, to reach the very top of world football. In 2017, that sounded like a kind manager being generous with a local kid. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody clipped it. It was a prophecy feat would take the world 5 years to catch up to a sentence spoken in the Norwegian cold. Red Bull Salzburg, 2019. The biggest stage the boy had ever touched. 21 minutes. A hat trick. On debut, suddenly the scouts who never flew to Molde were scrambling for his name. But a confirmation. Everything they unleashed, Solskjaer had already described 2 years earlier. Here's where the story turns cruel. Because by now, Solskjaer isn't in Norway anymore. He's the manager of Manchester United, one of the richest clubs on earth. He knows this player better. He knows the family. He knows the boy. And he wants him. The man who saw it first now has the money, the badge, and the relationship to make it real. And it collapses. Not on the pitch, but in the boardrooms and the phone calls, the fees and the conditions that swallow modern transfers whole. The deal that should have been destined to Dortmund instead. And Solskjaer, the prophet, is left holding a prophecy he can't cash. He was right about everything except the one thing that would have changed his own career. Dortmund. Goal after goal, exactly on the timeline. The runs he described. The patience, then the violence. The body had finally caught up. Now it was a weapon nobody could match. Every deef awkward was now backpedaling, praying. The bet had matured into a certainty. And then Manchester. But not the red half, City. He arrives to a league that acts astonished, as if a comet had appeared from nowhere. 90-plus goals in 2 seasons, records that stood FHS. The world calls it a miracle of coaching. But it wasn't a miracle, it was a schedule. Written in 2017 by a man on a foggy touchline in a town nobody could find on a map. So why did the warning go unheard? Because it came from the wrong place and the wrong man. A quiet league, a coach the game had already labeled. We don't believe prophecies from peepery. Solskjaer had been filed away as a lucky finisher, so when he spoke the truest scouting line of the decade, it sounded like noise. The warning wasn't missing. We just refused to hear who was giving it. And that's the uncomfortable lesson. The next Haaland D right now, by someone we've decided doesn't matter, in a league we don't watch. The talent is never really hidden. The messenger is. Solskjaer saw the monster before it had a name. And the only thing more painful than being ignored is being rise destroy the world in someone else's shirt. 8 years, 1 sentence. A boy nobody was watching. Solskjaer warned us about Haaland. We just weren't ready to hear it, until the goals made it impossible to ignore.